The Lost Queen. The moon hung low and full in the velvet sky, its silvery light cascading over the ancient stones of the Coven's sanctuary. Within the sanctuary's hallowed halls, Leia lingered in the shadows, her fingers brushing against the spine of an ancient tome. She had grown up here, taken in as a child when her uncontrollable powers made her a danger to herself and others. Yet even within the Coven, she remained an outcast, her gifts viewed as wild and unpredictable. Gabrielle, the High Priestess, had been her anchor. Though stern, Gabrielle had seen something in Leia that others could not. Under her tutelage, Leia had honed her abilities, yet she could never silence the whispers behind her back or the wary glances cast in her direction. That evening, an unusual tension buzzed through the air. Visitors were rare, but the arrival of the Werewolf King himself was unprecedented. Alpha Xavier was a figure of legend, known for his ferocity in battle and his unyielding commitment to protecting his kind. He strode into the sanctuary with an aura of authority, his amber eyes scanning the room like a predator assessing his territory. His presence sucked the air out of the room, leaving everyone in a state of awe and unease. Gabrielle welcomed him with a respectful nod, her eyes flickering briefly with something unreadable. She had heard countless tales of the Alpha King's ferocity, but seeing him in person, his aura of command was almost overwhelming. "Alpha Xavier, it is an honor to host you," she said, her voice steady, though her thoughts churned. She could not help but wonder what circumstances had brought such a powerful figure to her sanctuary, and what it would mean for her coven. He inclined his head. "High Priestess Gabrielle, I come with a grave matter. Vampires have been hunting our young. My warriors and I have been unable to stem the tide. We need the Coven's aid." Gabrielle gestured gracefully toward the seating area by a grand, roaring fireplace that dominated the far wall of the sanctuary. The flames cast a warm glow over the ancient stonework and intricate tapestries, creating an atmosphere of both power and intimacy. "Alpha Xavier, please join me," she said, her voice steady and commanding. Xavier hesitated for a moment, his sharp gaze assessing her invitation before he strode toward the seating area. He lowered himself into one of the high-backed chairs, his imposing frame seeming almost too large for the elegant furniture. Gabrielle seated herself opposite him, her hands resting lightly on the armrests as she fixed him with an unwavering gaze. "We rarely host such distinguished visitors," she began, her tone measured. "But your plight is dire, and we cannot ignore the suffering of innocence." Gabrielle's expression grew grave. "Such alliances are rare, but the plight of the shifters concerns us all. We will help. I will assemble a group of our best." Leia stood silently in the corner, her heart racing. She had no expectation of being chosen, but Gabrielle's next words shocked her. "Leia, you will join them?" Startled, Leia's emerald eyes widened. "Me? High Priestess, surely." Gabrielle silenced her with a glance. "Your loyalty is unquestionable, and your magic is powerful. You will go." Xavier's gaze landed on her, and for a moment, the world seemed to tilt. His amber eyes bore into hers, and a strange sensation swept through her, as if something deep within her had stirred awake. She felt a magnetic pull that left her breathless, a connection that was both exhilarating and terrifying. Leia's thoughts spiraled in confusion. Why was she chosen? She had never felt worthy of such responsibility, and now, standing in the presence of this powerful alpha, she couldn't deny the odd flutter in her chest. His commanding presence unsettled her, yet it also drew her in, as though an invisible thread bound them together. She saw a flicker of something in his eyes as well, a momentary crack in his stoic facade, as if he too was grappling with the same inexplicable pull. The journey to the werewolf lands was tense. They departed early the next morning, the chill of dawn clinging to the air. Leia had not slept a wink the night before, her thoughts consumed by the intensity of the Alpha King's gaze. It haunted her, stirring emotions she couldn't name and leaving her heart restless. She rode in silence, flanked by members of Xavier's pack, her eyes heavy with exhaustion but her mind racing. She could feel his eyes on her from time to time, and each glance sent a jolt through her, though neither of them spoke. The connection she felt to him was unsettling and inexplicable, and she had no words to articulate it. Upon reaching the pack's territory, Leia marveled at the dense forests and sprawling mountains that seemed to pulse with life. The pack's stronghold was a fortress nestled within the heart of the woods next to a waterfall, and to her surprise it exuded a sense of warmth and community that sharply contradicted the frightening tales she had grown up hearing about werewolves. Children ran between the wooden cottages, their laughter ringing through the air while adults worked together in harmonious efficiency. Wolves in both human and lupine forms greeted each other with nods and smiles, and the scent of fresh bread wafted from a communal kitchen. It was a place of resilience and unity, not the savage wilderness she had imagined. Yet beneath the welcoming exterior, the weight of the pack's recent losses was unmistakable. Shadows lingered in the eyes of the warriors, and some of the wolves bore fresh scars from battles fought to protect their own. Leia noticed how often the elders' gazes strayed toward the young, their expressions a mixture of relief and sorrow. Relief for the ones they had managed to save, and sorrow for the empty places left by those who had been lost. The air carried a quiet, unspoken grief, mingling with the determination to survive. As the days passed, Leia worked tirelessly to weave protective wards around the pack's territory. Despite her initial unease, she found herself drawn to the wolves' camaraderie. The witches, including herself, had been given rooms in the pack house, a sprawling lodge at the center of the stronghold. Knowing how close her quarters were to Xavier's left her inexplicably uneasy, and she often found herself distracted by the thought of him. His presence seemed to fill every space, and it unnerved her in ways she couldn't explain. Leia's discomfort grew each time Xavier found ways to be near her. One evening, as she worked late on reinforcing the wards, he approached, his expression soft yet intense. "You're working too hard," he said, his voice carrying both concern and something deeper that made her pulse quicken. She turned to face him, her breath catching as their eyes met. For a moment the world seemed to fade away, leaving only the two of them in the flickering light of the wardstone's glow. He stepped closer, his gaze locking onto hers, and the tension between them became almost unbearable. But as soon as the moment stretched too thin, Leia broke away, her cheeks flushing. I need to finish this," she stammered, quickly turning back to her work. Such encounters became more frequent, and each time Leia fled, her emotions a tangled mess of fear, longing, and confusion. She couldn't understand why her instincts screamed at her to run, when being near him also felt so inexplicably right. One night, while she was tending to a wardstone, a sudden dizziness overtook her. She clutched her head as a voice echoed in her mind, a voice not her own. "Leia, you are more than you know." She staggered, her vision swimming. The voice was soft yet commanding, and it filled her with both dread and curiosity. As the days went on, the voice grew stronger, and Leia began to feel ill. Her magic fluctuated wildly, and her dreams were plagued by visions of a vast silver wolf standing in a sea of stars. She kept her struggles hidden from everyone, even Gabrielle and Xavier, fearing that revealing the truth would only bring more questions she could not answer. The weight of secrecy pressed heavily on her, amplifying her isolation. She told herself it was for the best, but the guilt gnawed at her, especially when she saw the concern in Xavier's eyes each time their paths crossed. Xavier noticed the change in her. One evening, as she sat alone by a fire, he approached her. "You're unwell," he said, his deep voice laced with concern. Leia looked up at him, her defenses crumbling. She lied quickly, her voice trembling. "I just feel unwell, that's all." Xavier's brows furrowed, concern softening the hard lines of his face. "You should let our pack healer take a look at you. They are skilled in treating both magical and physical ailments." The sincerity in his tone made her chest tighten. She was moved by his concern, but terrified that any examination might uncover truths she wasn't ready to face. "I'll be fine. It's probably just exhaustion," she replied, forcing a faint smile. He stepped closer, his amber eyes searching hers. "Leia, if something is wrong, you need to tell me. You're important to this pack now. You're important to me." Her breath caught at his words, and for a fleeting moment she felt the urge to confess everything. But she couldn't. She wasn't ready to share the turmoil raging within her. Their eyes met, and the pull between them became almost unbearable. But before either could act on it, the pack's alarm sounded. A low, mournful howl that signaled danger. Vampires had breached the perimeter. The ensuing battle was chaos. Leia fought alongside the wolves, her magic searing through the night as Xavier's wolf tore through the enemy. The clash of fangs and spells filled the air, a cacophony of violence and determination. Amid the turmoil, the voice in her head grew louder, its tone insistent and unyielding, cutting through the noise like a blade. "Awaken, Leia. Fulfill your destiny." Each word struck her like a physical force, causing her steps to falter. She clutched her head, the overwhelming pressure threatening to split her mind apart. It wasn't just a voice now. It felt like a presence, ancient and powerful, coursing through her veins and igniting every nerve. The sensation blurred her vision, and her magic flared unpredictably, striking with raw, untamed force. She struggled to control it, her hands trembling as golden light sparked and crackled around her. "Leia," the voice roared, its power drowning out the battle. "You must rise." The urgency and strength of the command resonated deep within her, forcing her to push through the pain and confusion. She took a steadying breath and threw herself back into the fight, her magic sharper, more potent, as if the voice's presence had unlocked something buried within her. "Awaken, Leia. Fulfill your destiny." In the midst of the chaos, a vampire lunged at Xavier. Leia's magic surged, more potent than ever before. A silver light enveloped her, and when it faded, she stood transformed. Her emerald eyes glowed with an otherworldly light, and her form was cloaked in the shimmering aura of a wolf. The vampires faltered, their fear palpable, as Leia's magic reached its peak. A burst of silver light erupted from her, flooding the battlefield with a force so immense it left the air humming with power. With a sweep of her hand, the energy coalesced into a tidal wave of pure magic that surged toward the vampires, obliterating their forces in an instant. The remaining attackers turned and fled, their terror echoing in their cries. Xavier, in his wolf form black and regal, paused mid-battle, his amber eyes fixed on her in awe. She stood alone amidst the chaos, her aura blazing with a brilliance that left no doubt of her extraordinary power. The pack, stunned and silent, watched as she single-handedly ended the fight with a final, devastating blow of her magic. When the battle ended, the pack gathered around Leia, their expressions a mix of wonder and reverence. Gabrielle's voice echoed in Leia's mind, a memory of a prophecy long forgotten. "The chosen one will be born of both realms, a bridge between witch and wolf, destined to protect all shifter kind." Leia's legs gave out and Xavier caught her before she fell. As he cradled her, his mind raced with the realization that had struck him the moment she shifted into a wolf. His wolf had recognized her instantly, the pull undeniable and instinctual. She was his fated mate, the one he had given up hope of ever finding. Years of loneliness and relentless duty had hardened him, turning him into the ruthless alpha king the world knew. He had convinced himself that a mate would only be a distraction, a luxury he could not afford. But now, with Leia in his arms, her aura mingling with his, he felt something shift within him. The connection was not just powerful, it was profound, awakening parts of him he thought long dead. As her glowing eyes fluttered open and met his, The connection between them finally made sense. They were bound by fate, two halves of a whole, destined to stand together. As soon as Leia's glowing eyes fluttered shut from exhaustion, Xavier scooped her into his arms with a tenderness that belied his usual ruthlessness. Cradling her as though she were the most precious thing in the world, he carried her to the pack hospital. The soft golden light of the hospital's lanterns bathed the room in a warm glow, and the scent of herbs and healing salves filled the air. Gabrielle followed closely, her expression calm but her eyes brimming with quiet pride. She had always known that Leia carried extraordinary potential within her, a power that set her apart from the others. Seeing her now, the most powerful of all the witches, fulfilling her destiny, filled Gabrielle's heart with satisfaction. Xavier gently laid Leia onto a cot, his hands lingering for a moment as if reluctant to let her go. The pack healer rushed in, assessing her condition, but Xavier didn't move far. He stood nearby, his amber eyes fixed on her with an expression of both concern and awe. Gabrielle placed a reassuring hand on his arm. "She's stronger than even she realizes," Gabrielle said softly. "And now, so are you. Together, you'll achieve what neither could alone." Xavier waited by her side, his strong frame hunched slightly as he leaned forward in the chair, unable to take his eyes off her. He mind-linked his beta to handle the aftermath of the battle, but his focus remained solely on Leia. He hoped everything would be fine, though the fear of losing something so precious after waiting so many years gnawed at him. He prayed silently to the moon goddess, his thoughts a mixture of gratitude and pleading. When Leia's eyes fluttered open, he exhaled sharply, relief flooding through him. "Hello, little wolf," he said softly, his voice warm and filled with emotion. Leia blinked, her vision adjusting to the soft glow of the room. "What happened?" she murmured, her voice hoarse. "How long have I been out?" Xavier smiled faintly, his amber eyes meeting hers with a mix of concern and tenderness. "You've been resting for a few hours. The battle took a toll on you, but you were incredible out there." Her brow furrowed as she tried to piece together the events. I ended it, didn't I?" He nodded, his gaze steady. "You did. Your strength saved us all. But I know this must feel overwhelming. Everything happening so fast." Leia's lips parted as if to respond, but the weight of his words and the emotion in his eyes left her speechless. A sudden shyness overcame her as she realized the implications of his declaration, her cheeks warming under his intense gaze. She hesitated, then softly asked, "What does that mean?" Xavier's expression softened further, a faint smile touching his lips. "It means, Leia, that you're my mate, the one destined for me. The bond between us is unbreakable. Something neither of us chose, but it's real and undeniable." Her emerald eyes searched his for a moment, her emotions a swirl of confusion, fear, and an undeniable pull toward him. I don't know what to say," she whispered shyly, her voice trembling. "You don't have to say anything," Xavier replied, his voice steady and reassuring. "Just know that whatever this journey brings, I'll be here for you, every step of the way." Over the 2 days, Leia had to stay for observation as her body and spirit went to serious transformations. In the meanwhile, she had been talking to Gabrielle a lot to understand what had happened and how it was possible for her not to know she was a wolf. The discomfort came when Gabriella changed the subject. "Leia, do you like your destined mate?" Leia turned red and couldn't look Gabriella in the eye. "Come, my child," she said, "don't be shy. The moon goddess chooses your mate long before you are born. You are destined to be together. He is your man." "I can feel the bond," she answered. "But how can I be the wife mate or queen of such a powerful and important alpha?" Gabriella reminded her that she was equal, if not more powerful, as she saved the battle with her magic alone. "Give him a chance," were her last words. That afternoon, Xavier had visited her and asked for a private dinner, and Leia had of course accepted the invitation. She retreated to her room earlier to get cleaned up before dinner, worried about what to wear. But, to her surprise, Gabriella and the witches were waiting for her. "Are you ready to become a queen?" Gabriella asked. Leia could only nod with tears in her eyes. As Leia descended the grand stairs toward the dinner hall, her heart raced as her gaze locked with Xavier's. He stood at the bottom of the stairs, tall and impossibly handsome, his amber eyes fixed solely on her. The intensity of his stare sent a shiver through her, equal parts thrilling and nerve-wracking. When she reached him, he offered a slight bow, his voice rich and warm as he said, "My lady." The evening unfolded with a quiet elegance. The dinner, arranged in a private room within the pack house, was lit by the soft glow of candles and accompanied by the gentle crackle of a nearby fireplace. Xavier, ever the gracious host, ensured Leia felt comfortable, yet his attentiveness only heightened the tension between them. They talked of lighter things at first, but as the evening progressed, their conversation grew deeper, touching on their fears, their dreams, and the unspoken bond pulling them together. After the meal, Xavier suggested they move to the lounge area, where a plush couch and a decanter of wine awaited. Leia hesitated briefly, her thoughts swirling as she followed him into the cozy room. The intimate setting, with its warm firelight and quiet ambiance, heightened her awareness of him. Her heart raced as she took in the plush surroundings, the proximity of Xavier, and the undeniable connection between them. As they settled onto the couch, her emotions warred between nervousness and an inexplicable comfort in his presence. The firelight played across his features, softening the edges of his usually stoic expression. As the night deepened, the distance between them on the couch lessened, their words slowing until silence filled the space. A silence heavy with anticipation. Leia's breath hitched as Xavier leaned closer, his hand brushing against hers. "Leia," he murmured, his voice a low rumble that seemed to resonate deep within her. "I'll wait as long as you need. But know this, you are extraordinary, more than a queen, more than a mate." Overcome with emotion, Leia hesitated, her heart pounding as she glanced into Xavier's amber eyes, which shimmered with a mixture of longing and reassurance. Slowly she closed the distance between them, her breath catching as her lips brushed against his. The kiss deepened, tender yet charged with an electrifying intensity that spoke of promises yet to be fulfilled and a connection that transcended time and fate. His hand cupped her cheek gently, while hers rested against his chest, feeling the steady rhythm of his heart. In that moment, the world seemed to dissolve, leaving only the warmth of their embrace and the unspoken vow between them. They were no longer just individuals, but two souls entwined, destined to face whatever lay ahead together, stronger than ever.